Hello. This is I guess this is a comrade Manuel video, right? So yeah, and I know I'm not supposed to mix. I don't believe in mixing politics and religion or politics and theology, but I think that um, in this case it is appropriate that I address the Bible students, the Bible student audience that might be watching this channel, and the reason is because um, in breaking with the Christian neutrality rule. Originally this video was going to be titled "Against Christian Neutrality," and I decided not to use that language. It's too, I don't know, offensive and loaded. I understand that I'm breaking with Jehovah's Witnesses, but in breaking with the Christian neutrality rule, I am also breaking with Charles Taze Russell and with the Bible students. A basic tenet of them, which is Christian neutrality. I don't agree with Christian neutrality anymore. But so this is going to be this statement is aimed at, let's say, if Charles Taze Russell was watching this video, I would this statement is aimed at him. Or if there are Bible students watching this video, this statement is aimed at them. And of course, if you're a Bible student and you watch this video, please go and you disagree, which I know you're going to disagree, and you're going to quote the Bible and you're going to make the biblical case against everything I'm saying. That's cool, perfect, wonderful. Please take it to the comment section. If you want to make a video countering what I'm saying, like make your video, post it on YouTube, put the link in the comment section so that people can go from your comment to your video in your domain and see what you have to say. Okay, go ahead and do that, please. Feel free to exercise your Article 18 and 19 rights, human rights, and explain why I am wrong. That's fine. From a Bible student perspective, please do so. Okay. Um, Anyways, I call this political statement 3.0, and 3.0 because I've made about I've made two previous versions of this video and I didn't like it and I deleted it. Uh, so this is the latest iteration of the political statement where I state clearly why I disagree with the Christian neutrality rule from a more theological rather than political perspective. And I know I'm Comrade Manuel and I'm not supposed to discuss theology, but in this case, because uh, the issue of one of my premises is that the issue of Christian neutrality is a political issue, not a theological issue. All right, the statement. I break with the political neutrality rule of Jehovah's Witnesses, Bible students, and Charles Taze Russell because that teaching grants impunity to Caesar's tyranny, social injustice, violence, and repression perpetrated by state actors and the political class. Um, yeah. So I define Caesar's tyranny as social injustice, violence, and repression perpetrated by state actors and the political class. Okay. Uh, in my view, Christian neutrality justifies fascism. And I say, and this is a very loaded statement that's going to offend people. Christian neutrality justifies fascism. Benito Mussolini defines fascism as the dictatorship of the state over the cooperative mass. And he defines fascism also as the anarchy of state power in that context. So the anarchy of state power. Basically, what Jehovah's Witnesses, Bible students, and Charles Taze Russell are saying is that they grant impunity to Caesar to engage in tyranny unopposed. And, their followers are required to not do anything about it, but like pray or abstain or what have you. And I think that position is wrong. Um, I don't agree with that position because you know, it's not an ethical issue. It's not an ethical issue of that. It's not an ethical issue that I'm not trying to take an ethical position here that social injustice, violence, and repression are wrong, morally wrong. No, they're not morally wrong. It's a matter of self-preservation. See, it's a matter of self-preservation because if I live in a context where Caesar is going to be allowed to engage in social injustice, um, in social injustice, violence, and repression with total impunity, that is not a situation where I'm going to have the peace of mind. See what I'm saying? So it's a matter of self-preservation too, because if you live in a context where social injustice, violence, and repression are prevalent, you're likely to be killed in that environment. So no, I don't agree. I don't agree with the Christian neutrality. I don't agree. Christian neutrality encourages members of Jehovah's Witnesses, Bible students, to like passively accept repression and what have you. So let's say a mob comes at the Bible students and lynch them for political reasons, because they refuse to vote or whatever, and then the Bible students in question would be killed, which means that there wouldn't be any more Bible students to preach the gospel because they would be killed because they didn't resist the tyranny of Caesar. See, so I don't know. So I mean, Christian neutrality justifies fascism and leads to outcomes where the professed believers of the truth of Charles Taze Russell are potentially eliminated. So that's counterproductive. Yeah. And another point I make is I also break with the neutrality rule because to adopt political neutrality is to adopt a political position. Neutrality has political consequences. Okay? To say that I am not political is a political position. It's a political position that says that you are demobilized against the tyranny of Caesar, right? That you are not going to oppose the tyranny of Caesar. Therefore, you are granting impunity to the tyranny of Caesar and telling Caesar that he can do whatever he wants, that he can implement a fascist state, like Mussolini said, the anarchy of state power. That's the result of granting Caesar total impunity to do whatever he wants. And in the anarchy of state power, what happens is that normally that power is used to the benefit of elites or economic or cultural political elites at the expense of the ordinary people. So basically, the Christian neutrality rule disarms ordinary people and demobilizes them and puts them at the mercy of the injustice of Caesar, the anarchy of state power that Mussolini described in Fascism Theory and Practice. So, and I'm sorry, I'm not, a situation where there is a dictatorship of the state over the cooperative mass is not a situation where I think I will be happy, because in that situation there would be no agency, there would be no free will, right? There would be no agency. Forget free will. Free will is a liberal concept. I don't like the language of free will. I prefer the language of agency, right? There is no agency in a situation of the dictatorship of the state over the cooperative mass because I'm being forced into that cooperative mass by the threat of state violence, the secret police. In Mussolini's Italy, it was the OPERA, Organization for the Suppression of Anti-Fascist Activities. I don't want to live in a situation where I'm going to be regimented by something like the OVRA into being part of a functional member of the cooperative under the benevolent dictatorship of the state, which is Caesar. No, I don't want to live in that situation. So the Christian neutrality rule of the Jehovah's Witnesses, Bible students, and Charles Taze Russell grants sort of like the possibility by demobilizing people, by demobilizing the professors, people who profess the truth, from resisting Caesar's tyranny. So no, I disagree completely with the political neutrality rule, the Christian neutrality rule. I disagree with it. I don't agree with it. I'm not gonna. I haven't been pursuing the Christian neutrality rule for since at least November 11th, 2020. So for about a year, and this statement is being made on Sunday the 7th of November at 37 hours. So for a whole year, I've broken away with the political neutrality rule. And I'm told that as far as Jehovah's Witnesses are concerned, when you engage in political activity, you automatically disassociate yourself. Technically speaking, if that is the truth, I've been disassociated since February 16th, 2020. Okay? But it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. I don't believe in the Christian neutrality, political neutrality rule. I disagree with Charles Taze Russell on that. Yeah. So, but whatever, But like I said in other videos, other aspects of Charles Taze Russell's theology I agree with very much. I will not mention them here because this video is about politics, not theology. And I continue to, derive insight, theological insight and inspiration from the writings of Charles Taze Russell, which, whose the name of those writings I cannot mention here because this is a video about politics, not theology. But I think I've mentioned the name of those writings in other contexts, so another video, and videos dedicated to theology, so you can just refer to those for now. Yeah. All So, my three political positions that I take as a result of breaking with the Christian neutrality rule are: I take a preferential option for the working class and its interests. I take a preferential option for the ecology. And when I say a preferential option for the ecology, the way that I express that preferential option is through the radicalism of the radical spirit, let's say, the radical ecology spirit, because those organizations don't exist anymore, of something called the Animal Liberation Front and the Pedestrian Freedom Front. So for me, taking a preferential option for the ecology would involve becoming engaged with either an Animal Liberation Front type effort or a Pedestrian Freedom Front type effort. What is a Pedestrian Freedom Front? Their slogan was the only good car is a wreck. So they want to destroy cars, right? Eliminate cars from the society and replace cars with human-powered vehicles and public transportation, free public transportation, and freely available human-powered vehicles. And that way, and so people to get from to get somewhere, you either go on the bus, you ride your bike, or you walk, and cars are eliminated from the picture altogether. That would be the Pedestrian Freedom Front. And as far as Animal Liberation Front, of course, you want liberation of non-human animals from their, violence and exploitation, like of the factory farming system, for example, or violence and exploitation of animals in laboratories and what have you. Or pretty much the fur industry is dead. Nobody uses fur anymore. So that was a great accomplishment of the animal liberation movement, but still work needs to be done with factory farming and the use of animals in labs. So that would be my preferential option for the. I have a preferential option for radical ecology, as expressed by the Animal Liberation Front, Pedestrian Freedom Front. Fast forward now in 2021, after I've been through the Jehovah's Witnesses, where I have seen how the situation for Jehovah's Witness women, where they are basically non-persons. They have the status of a pet, apparently, in the household, because the man is the head of the woman, so the woman is subordinate to the man. So, it's like the dog, the children, and the woman are all subordinate to the man in the Jehovah's Witness household, right? So the Jehovah's Witness head of household, the man, he's a big cock, right? I'm the man. I can do whatever the fuck I want with you. You're gonna have to do whatever the fuck I say because Jehovah said so, right? That's the attitude of Jehovah's Witnesses men in the family or whatever. And women have absolutely no rights. They have no rights of any kind. They can't have an abortion. They can't do anything they want. They're subject to the husband. I mean, it's a complete dictatorship where and also the only scriptural reason for divorce is in Jehovah's Witnesses is what's it called? Adultery. The guy has to cheat. The man has to cheat for the woman to be able to divorce him, and then she has to prove that he did that, which is not exactly easy to prove, because if there have to be two witnesses, and if there are not two witnesses, the man can just deny that he did that, and the woman has to live with it or whatever. She can't prove it, so she's stuck with the man. And then if the man beats her up, she has to take it because he is her head. That's how it works in this religion, and I'm not making this up. You can go up here on YouTube. There are plenty of ex-Jehovah Witness women who can attest that what I'm saying is true. Just ask Lloyd Evans, or ask JT and Lady C over at XJW Critical Thinker. Ask Coach Rod. Ask anybody you want in the ex-Jehovah Witness community. XJW Fifth, Amber Scora, whomever you want to ask to see if I'm lying. Okay? And there is places on Facebook. There is a specific community on Facebook that I go to, which is and a specific type of ex-Jehovah Witness population, which I am not going to mention because I don't want somebody to go in there and spy on them. But they say, I've met people in that community on Facebook who openly say, look, I was physically abused for 7 years by my Jehovah Witness husband, and there is nothing I could do about it. So, and then there is the sexual abuse of young women. Which there is tons of stuff of here on YouTube. There is one video by a young woman that she explains in detail what happened. Lloyd Evans has made a documentary about it. The Australian Royal Commission explored the issue of young women being, raped, basically molested as children in the Jehovah's Witness setup. Because women have no rights. Women are like a pet, and a household pet basically of the man. So you know what I mean. So, anyways, I have to be honest though, I'm not sexually attracted to women. I couldn't have sex with a woman or be married to a woman or be having a relationship, romantic or sexual relationship with a woman because I'm just not attracted to the body of the woman. The body of the woman doesn't is not attractive to me. Okay? I'm sorry. It doesn't mean that I hate women. I feel attracted to the body of the male. The male body is what I like, Specifically my ideal, my sort of like the aesthetic ideal for the male body that I see is I'm both Uranian and grandpa pile, right? I'm both. So Uranian it means like in the 19th century, late 19th century Britain or Europe or whatever, people like Oscar Wilde, Henry Scott Tuck, the painter, or Baron Wilhelm von Gloden, who took pictures of nude adolescents. Okay, I believe that young men between the ages of 20 and 24 are at their most beautiful, right? I mean, they are at their most beautiful. The young men between 20 and 24 are at their most beautiful. Both, lean and muscular ones and chubby ones, which are called cubs. Chubby young men between 20 and 24 are the most beautiful to me. Even more beautiful than the lean ones with muscular bodies and what have you. Those are nice. Those are nice. But I think that the cubs, the chubby young men between 20 and 24 are especially super beautiful. Okay, yeah, I am not into teenagers. I don't go there. I believe that young men between 15 and 19 should be only with each other. I don't think that I think that group should be segregated by themselves and do their own thing. I don't think it would be appropriate for me to pursue that age group. But between 20 and 24, I think there is actually a community of young men in those age groups, 20 to 24, who like older men in their 40s like me, and have I been in a relationship with a person between 20 and 24 recently, who was interested in a man in his 40s? Yes, I was in a relationship, a sort of affair with a young man who was in his early 20s. That's all I can say. I cannot say specifics, but yeah, and we had a relationship that lasted that lasted between February and August, right, of 2021. Yeah. And we met 13 times. But yeah, so yeah, I had that relationship and it was great. He made it possible for me to reassert my gay personality after it being suppressed for 7 years, first under the ex-gay ministry, and then under the Jehovah's Witnesses, and like I say in other videos, I tried everything with conversion therapy. I tried hypnotism. I tried looking at heterosexual pornography to try to arouse myself. I tried what they call fantasy substitution or whatever, which doesn't work. You can't change your fantasies. You can never change your fantasies. You can't. You are born with a certain predilection for a certain type of fantasy, and and if you like if you are attracted towards the body of men, you will be, that's it. And if you're attracted to the body of women, that's it. If you're bisexual, you're attracted to both, right? Or whatever, or pansexual or whatever. I'm not pansexual. I like the body of men. Right. And when I say preferential option, I'm not taking this idea from Camilo Torres. Okay, I am not saying. I notice that I have not said preferential option for the poor. I don't believe in the poor. Okay, I don't believe in the poor. The poor are not the poor. My premise is not. I reject. I do not take a preferential option for the poor because I don't know what the poor means. The poor can mean whatever you want it to be. So I don't know. The poor is imprecise. It's vague. It's not something that I want to do. And also, I don't really believe, like I said in the political statement video, I don't believe there is any dignity in poverty. Like I'm supposed to be poor to prove that I am a true whatever activist of the far left or what have you. I'm required to be poor and humble. Oh, because poverty is humble, and only the poor and humble have the like whatever moral standing to oppose tyranny. And no, bullshit. No, bullshit. No, I don't believe in that at all. There is no dignity in poverty. Okay, there is no dignity in poverty, and poverty. The whole point is to eliminate poverty. Okay, that's the goal, the ultimate goal, to come up with a political economy that eliminates poverty for everyone. Okay, that's the aim here. To end poverty, not to like perpetuate it or spiritualize it like Camilo Torres did in this preferential option for the poor bull crap. Where he spiritualized the poor or whatever, which is a vague category, and then it didn't really accomplish anything. And I talk about his failures in the political statement video. I'm not gonna repeat myself. I don't want to get into Camilo Torres right now. But I'm highly critical of him. I'm very critical of him. Also, his idea that you can, he tried to reconcile Marxism with Catholicism. You're not supposed to mix theology and no, that's not, no. You gotta keep the political and the theological strictly separate in two separate compartments. Definitely engage in theological discourse and engage in political activity, but do so in strictly separate contexts where they don't mix with each other. Okay, two separate compartments. And in the compartment, in the context where you are a theological actor, you do not talk about politics. And in the context where you are a political actor, you do not talk about theology. You keep it strictly separate. Okay. So yeah, is this the opposite of what Camilo Torres was saying? Like when he joined the ELN, when he was saying that he ceased to give the communion, and he only gave the communion to the guerrillas because the guerrillas were Christ or whatever. That if Jesus were to come back, he would come back as a guerrilla. Okay, whatever. So he gave the communion to the guerrillas. Yeah, okay, yeah, whatever. Did the guerrillas accomplish the overthrow of the Colombian state? No, they're still at it. ELN is still at it. And nobody cares about the ELN anymore. The ELN is seen as a fringe terrorist group, that just throws petrol bombs at buildings or blows something up once in a while, and that's it. It doesn't. The Colombian state is not gonna. It's not even affected by them. So yeah, whatever. No. I rather take the example from the Chinese Communist Party after Mao died. They took the capitalist road. True, they abandoned socialism. They took the capitalist road. In 2002, they jettisoned any reference to Marxism or communism or anything like that from their party constitution. And they're completely dedicated to neoliberal capitalism. Their project in China is the establishment of a neoliberal economy governed by a one-party police state. Controlled by the Communist Party. Communist Party. It's not even communist. It's a name, a label. It's actually, they should just call it the Chinese Capitalist Party. That's what it is. Oh no, they should call it the Chinese State Capitalist Party. That's what it is. That's what it actually is. But anyways, I like the fact that they go by the premise that wealth must be turned into a political weapon, and they did that very successfully. China has done that very successfully under the capitalist road regimes that have come after Mao died. They did turn China into a global economic power. The second largest economy after the United States. It rivals the United States in terms of military, diplomatic, political clout. Great. Yeah, they accomplished that goal. Yeah, because they turned wealth into a political weapon. So they accomplished being the second largest power. So yeah, that's good. That's a good example. I mean, it serves the wrong goal. Unfortunately, it serves a goal that it's not what you want. But hey, in terms of technique, they accomplished something important here.